This is Oklahoma Inside Out, a weekly broadcast of Cimarron Alliance that focuses on the issues, culture, and people important to LGBT Oklahomans. And now, here's your host for Oklahoma Inside Out, Scott J. Hamilton.
Hi, and welcome to this very special video edition of Oklahoma Inside Out. We're broadcasting today from the OKCPRIDE Festival in downtown Oklahoma City. This is the second year in a row that it's been held right here on Film Row. And as you can see behind me, already today there are scores of people here to celebrate the diversity in the gay community and to support all of us who are here to celebrate Pride this weekend. It's been a busy day so far. It began with breakfast at the Equality Center, followed by a brunch of the Diversity Business Association, then the marriage equality event where a number of couples committed their love to each other with Pastor Neil Spurgeon officiating. So it's already been a full day, and now people are still coming out to the festival, and that's not even talking about tomorrow's great parade that will happen kicking off at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Before we start to talk with some of the people who are gathering here today, I want to first take a quick look at last night's Pride Teeny event at the Cimarron Alliance Equality Center. Let's take a look at how some of the folks kicked off the weekend with a great time together right there. Well, as you can see, last night's kickoff was a great way to start a wonderful weekend of celebrating LGBT Pride here in Oklahoma City. Now we're going to take the opportunity to visit with some of the people who are here today, the organizations that are exhibiting at the festival, and also talk to some of the people who are here just to have a great time and to support each other as we all work together for equality. Well, we said we were going to talk to some people here at the festival today, and I promise you we didn't plan it this way, but our first guest is Haji, and Haji has been a real mover in a great new project that began earlier this month at the Cimarron Alliance Equality Center. It's a program called Straight Up Real Talk. Come and get your voice heard. Let's tell me a little bit about the group, Haji.
Actually, what the group is for the community to come out and to talk about issues that we're dealing with within the LGBT community within Oklahoma. And we have things with race relations, closing gaps. We have things dealing with the religious perspective. So it's really for the community to come out, and we're wanting everybody to come out because we all have issues, whether you're white, black, yellow, Asian, whatever your ethnicity is. It's for anybody to come out and really express your concerns, to come to a place that's a safe haven for those to come out and talk.
This is the first time that anyone seems to know about where we have purposefully said, let's talk about real issues. And you've already had one group. Were you surprised at the level of honesty and openness of the people who were there?
I was a little bit surprised because one that it was supposed to be for everybody to come out, but we kind of got off subject a little bit. But at the same time, they were still able to voice their concerns with being the first one we had. So we really took a lot of notes from that and a lot of points to see where to move on in the future.
Well, I'm excited about this because I think it has the potential to be a real game changer for the community and bringing all of us a little closer together. Don't you agree?
I really do agree.
So we want to encourage people to visit the Cimarron Alliance website. That's where you're going to find information about this. Is a twice-a-month group right now. But I'm going to tell you something. Based on the success of your first group meeting, I think you're going to wind up doing this every single week.
I know we talked about that. A lot of work, but I think it'll be really well worth it. And I think some of the people we have working with it now are really great people. They're willing to get out there, do grassroots things. So kudos out to Jimmy and Kim because they were there with the first one. So I really do agree, Scott, that it'll really grow and to the point where we might have to have different sessions in the future.
Haji, thanks so much for talking to us today. Looking forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you.
If you've been to a restaurant, a bar, a store, just about anywhere in Oklahoma City, then certainly you have seen the Gailey. And with us right now is the publisher of the Gailey, Ken Townsend. Ken, welcome to Oklahoma Inside Out.
Thank you. And happy Pride, everyone.
Thank you, and to you. You know, we have the chance to get to talk to your wife, Robin Dorner, often about the Gailey. We don't have a chance to talk to you a lot, so I want to ask you real quick. First of all, congratulations on the wild success of the paper. You guys have expanded exponentially just in the last year, haven't you?
That's right. Our circulation is going up, and right now it's going up rapidly as we expand out. We're now in 5 states, and the coverage in Arkansas coming up is going to probably close to equal Oklahoma's distribution.
That's really amazing. Tell us what's in store over the next several months for the Gailey, Ken.
Well, we're members of the Associated Press, so we get feeds daily from the AP on all of the national breaking news, which goes on our website, www.gailey.com. Give a little plug in there. The Gailey is published once a month, but we're going to continue increasing our distribution points. The Gailey has gone up now from a 32-page issue to a 40-page issue, and we hope to be able to remain at that, and then up from there.
Well, again, congratulations on all the great reporting that you're doing, and we're looking forward to more good things from the Gailey, Ken.
Thanks, Scott. And again, everybody in Oklahoma City, happy Pride.
And happy Pride to you. One of the best things about being out here at the Pride Festival today is you just have no idea who you're going to run into. I'm so happy to run into my friend Paula Sophia. Paula has been a guest on Oklahoma Inside Out at least twice before, but never on camera.
Never on camera.
And you're working today.
Yes, I am.
So how is it that you got assigned to work the LGBT Pride Festival today?
This is my beat.
This is where you normally work.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So tell me what you feel as a police officer today, looking at all of the diversity of people out here.
Well, I'm when I first started as a police officer, this part of downtown was pretty vacant and dirty, and it's nice to see the resurgence of downtown Oklahoma City and to see festivals like this bring life to the western part of downtown, which is just now starting its renaissance.
You know, before we let you get back to work, I just want to mention that Paula is beginning work on a new book, and I'm saying this on camera so that we're going to hold you to this and keep working on it, because if you haven't read Shadowboxer, you must read it, and we will keep you posted on all that she's doing in her coming up book. Paula, thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you. You take care.
We're going to talk now with Chris Williams, who is an amazing worker with the young people in our community, kids who are struggling with their identity, trying to navigate puberty and just being a teenager today. But she has a way of working with these kids that is just awe-inspiring. Chris, welcome to Oklahoma Inside Out.
Well, thank you.
You've got something pretty big coming up the 4th of July. Tell us about that.
Well, I work for Be the Change, and we just were lucky enough to get some funding that is coming down the pipe on July 1st, and so we're going to kick it off on July 4th. Got funding to host a youth group, which we're going to host at the Equality Center, which we're really excited about that. And so the group is named Yes for Youth Equality Services, 13 to 20 years old. We're going to party. We're going to have a good time. We're going to start hosting the youth groups on Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We'll have a formal meeting between 7 and 8. And the rest of the time, we're going to mingle and have fun and do some nice, gay, clean stuff.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing for our young people, because the more that we can do for them today, I think the more that they're going to provide to the community in the future.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And having the experience and working with YGLA, and I think that a lot of the community remembers YGLA, which was the Young Gay and Lesbian Alliance. Those kids have grown up and they become leaders in our community, and so we just don't need to give up on our youth, and they need to move with us in the great movement that we've got going on in our world today.
And some of those kids that you worked with, who were kids then, they've grown up, and now they're working with you with other young people, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They're great, inspiring mentors. They've got so much to offer because they've been there, done that more recently than you and I, and so they come with some wonderful experiences, and they know what it feels like to have that support, and they didn't have the temptation of suicide as the kids do today, because they did have that support and they had that community around them, and it just means so much to have that family. So.
Well, thanks for all you're doing, and we're looking forward to some great things kicking off July 4th, Chris.
Thank you, Scott.
I mentioned at the top of this broadcast that we started the day earlier with a brunch for the Diversity Business Association. What I didn't say is that it was sponsored by Dead Center Film Festival and Lance McDaniel. Lance, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a great day here out at the Pride Festival, and I think it's great that they moved it down to Film Row.
I have to say that you've been on the audio version of Oklahoma Inside Out, and you are absolutely one of my favorite guests.
Oh, thank
because
you.
when I say something, you respond. Some of our guests, you say, "Welcome to Oklahoma Inside Out," and they say, which doesn't work for radio.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Look here. What does it say? Dead Center Film Festival, June 5th through 9th. Tell us about it.
So we are Oklahoma's biggest film festival, and we've been going 13 years. We have 115 films that will play over 5 days from June 5 through 9. It's films from around the world. About 20% of them are from Oklahoma. We have about 25% of them played at Sundance or South by Southwest. So it's a good mix of local independent film and the best films from around the world.
Give us your website address.
Our website address is deadcenterfilm.org.
And I will say that Lance will be a guest on the audio version next week, but I'm so glad you visited with us today. Happy Pride, Lance.
Well, happy Pride to you, and I am so thrilled that we got to do the DBA brunch, because there are a lot of businesses on Film Row that like the ability to work with the businesses that are part of that association, and I think that that's the value of DBA to this community, is it's going to help spread the love. So.
And it's all about breaking down those barriers, isn't it?
Exactly, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Happy Pride. I appreciate this chance to sit down for a few minutes. It has already been a very full day. But it's not just sitting here, it's sitting here visiting with a friend of our community, Hiawatha Bolden. Thank you so much for joining us on Oklahoma Inside Out.
Always wonderful to be with you guys. You know that.
Now, I'm looking at the stuff you have on your table here, and you're talking about tobacco. You're talking about responsible drinking. Tell us about what you're doing here.
Again, what we're doing is we're talking about changing behavior to have healthy lifestyles. We're here today and we're focusing on things just like you said, underage alcohol, the social host legislation, prescription drugs, all of those things that are happening in our communities, and they're happening in the LGBT community as well. And that's why we're here, because we want to work with any community and any family and anyone based on these issues, because they're the same everywhere you go.
Let me ask you, and I'm going to get a little personal here. You are a retired military man. You spent your entire career in the military, which at that time certainly was not very LGBT friendly. What moves an African American man from the military into a place where you are working with all kinds of people, and right now especially the LGBT community? What's that like for you?
Well, actually, I think I'm a little bit different, Scott. When I went into the military, one of my first assignments was one of the largest LGBT communities in the country, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So as a 19-year-old single male, I learned that culture at that time. And what I found was everyone was the same. Everyone had the same issues. Everyone had the same needs. So it wasn't a stretch for me to come out of the military and do this. But I think the reason I do it is because of the freedoms and the fact that we all have the same rights. We all need the same things. And I want to show that connection. What we went through, what you're going through is no different. But if we got together and we worked together, we could probably see how we can change those things. We can learn from each other.
And I so appreciate what you're saying, because it is about taking the experiences of other people and applying those to our own lives. One of the things that I've never heard you don't say, don't drink, don't smoke, but you educate people, and I want to thank you for that education.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. You know, something I believe, drinking is okay, but it's not okay every day, every time, and every place. There are certain people that can drink legally, and then there are certain people that aren't supposed to drink. What we need to do is get that message out there, and we can change a lot of the behaviors that we see.
And you're doing a great job with that. Hiawatha, thanks for being with us on Oklahoma Inside Out today.
Always, Scott. You know that. Appreciate everything.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot. Enjoy the festival.
You too.
Most definitely.
It's my privilege to present to you a man who I admire so deeply, Pastor Neil Spurgeon from Expressions Church. Neil, I want to talk a little bit about what you did earlier today with the marriage equality event. Okay. I was moved to tears as you stood before all of those folks who were committing their love to each other. What did it feel like in the shadow of the Devon Tower to be performing such a ceremony for so many people?
You're going to make me cry. It was like a big, even though we were in the shadow of the Devon Tower, it was as if a shadow was being lifted off of all those couples that were sitting out there. Because they've had such a shadow of rejection that sometimes they'll look themselves in the mirror and not even feel like they should go outside. And I felt that there was such a presence of light that overtook the darkness on their hearts, and they were to celebrate and be able to be them. And what it showed me is that we have couples now that are committed, that their relationships are going to get stronger, and it's going to strengthen us. It's going to strengthen the people that maybe do not understand, and to a point where they're going to understand, because it's a remnant of people that love each other that's going to bring the rest of society into a healing place. And that's what I believe happened today.
Well, you know, I have to say that is what happened today. I felt the same thing. But today is not unique, because that is the work that you do every single day, not just with your congregation, but from people who stop into your church, people who stop in to your community center, people who just need to be touched, and you touch them. And thank you for all that you do, Neil.
Man, you know, what's great about it? Doesn't matter about all the buildings, but what's wonderful is to be able to, when those people come in, just to show them love and to let them know that they have hope and that they can be free. Even over at the community center, it doesn't matter where.
And I'll tell you something, that's what you do, and you do it in spades. Thanks for all that you do, my friend.
You too, brother. Love you.
Thank you. The last time we interviewed our next guest, he was Mr. OGRA. And I just learned that Frank Thompson is no longer Mr. OGRA, but Mr. what?
International Gay Rodeo Association.
That is like the biggest title in the world.
Yeah, it's the highest ones you can get.
Frank, I am so proud of you personally, but let's talk a little bit about OGRA coming up next weekend. This is going to be the biggest gay rodeo anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's looking to be actually the biggest one on the circuit this year, and the largest one that Oklahoma's seen in quite some time. We're looking at about 150 to 175 competitors coming out, and it's just going to be a great time of drag queens riding steers and goats wearing underwear.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun, and we're going to talk to you more on our audio version of this program. But I saw you, and I just wanted to say hi and offer our real heartfelt congratulations on your major title this year. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Happy Pride. Love you.
Thank you for all y'all do.
When OKCPRIDE moved this festival and the parade to May, it was with the intention of moving it to a cooler time of year. But this being Oklahoma, there's no way of predicting. It's hot out here today. But that's all the more reason for people to come out, and they are coming out. Right now, we want to talk to a couple of folks who are here, and I grabbed them on the street because this is a mother and son. And tell us your names.
Dawn.
And Tristan.
And Don, I'm looking at you wearing an OKC Pride shirt, and your son is wearing the same thing. Tell me, what is it like to be out here with all of these people because you support your son?
It's awesome. And I support him because he's my son. And I support anybody else's choice to be whoever they want to be because that's the way this world should be.
And it's got to be a good feeling. How old are you, Tristan?
17.
It's got to be a good feeling for you to know that you have the support of your parents.
It is. I mean, I know a lot of families aren't as supportive, and it just hurts. But I'm really lucky to have a mom and dad that support me no matter what.
Well, it's more than luck. I think it's really all about love, isn't it?
It's love.
All about love.
Well, thanks for talking to us. You all have a wonderful Pride weekend.
Thank you.
Stay cool.
Well, if you look around, what we have here today is several hundred people that even a few years ago really had an invisibility problem in Oklahoma City. Today, everyone is out. They're proud to be here. And I'm speaking now with someone whose group also has some invisibility, but they are a part of the Pride Festival today. Red McCall from Oklahoma Atheists. Welcome to Oklahoma Inside Out.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tell me, what is it like working with an atheist group in Oklahoma City?
It's very rewarding. There's surprisingly a large number of people that are atheists and agnostic in Oklahoma City that are also looking for some kind of community to be involved with, and that's what we offer.
Tell us, do you have regular meetings? Tell us a little about the organization.
Sure. We actually are the 7th largest atheist community group in the world. Out of 730 meetups throughout the entire world, we are the 7th largest based here in Oklahoma City. And we're a really busy group. We are social. We do political stuff. We have secular parenting groups. We do volunteer. We have outreach. So we're very, very busy, up to 30 different meetups a month.
That's incredible. That's almost one every day.
Almost, yeah.
What's your website address?
It's oklahomaatheist.com, so it's pretty easy to find. We're on Google+, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on meetup.com, so we're everywhere.
Well, I especially appreciate you being here today, celebrating Pride with all of the LGBT folks in Oklahoma City. Thank you.
Diversity, yes.
It certainly is, and thanks for the work you're doing.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us today, Red.
Have a good day.
We're visiting now with Dr. David Macy, who is the head of the English department of the University of Central Oklahoma. However, that's only a part of who he is. He is involved in so many community activities. And today you are here with SAFE, which is Student Alliance for Equality at UCO. David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Scott. It's great to be here. Great to be on Oklahoma Inside Out. We're excited to be at Pride. We're looking forward to marching in tomorrow's parade with students from college GSAs across the state. We have a whole range of exciting programs coming up for next year. We will be hosting a BGLTQ film festival in the spring of 2014. We'll be organizing educational events and outreach programs throughout the year. We had a great time this past spring, hosting the College Summit, the LGBT College Summit, a really empowering networking event for students from throughout the state. So every Tuesday throughout the coming year, 7 p.m. in UCO's Nye University Center, SAFE will be meeting. We welcome BGLTQ, college students, community members, allies to all of our events, and we are committed to promoting equality on campus and off.
David, in the 3 years that I've been back in Oklahoma City, I have seen SAFE grow from certainly a viable organization of committed people to this big group on campus. What do you attribute the growth to?
Well, a lot of things. I think we've had wonderful leadership. Our student officers have been outstanding in spreading the word and creating a warm, welcoming, and exciting environment, a sense of possibility. I think UCO as an institution has become progressively more BGLT positive and inclusive. I'm very proud of the university's new inclusive non-discrimination policy, the kinds of institutional support we've been receiving. And I think the climate is changing here in our metropolitan area in ways that are so exciting.
I think you're right. And the more good work done by groups like SAFE, the more that change is going to continue. Last night, you and I had a very, very brief conversation, but you have an idea that I think is brilliant about combining groups from different schools to come together to just talk about issues that they're dealing with, to talk about calendars and planning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things we've known for many years is there is exciting work being done by BGLTQ groups on campuses across the state. More and more groups all the time. I think to take that work to the next level, we need to be more integrated, campus to campus, statewide. So we're hoping to create a forum where representatives of each of our campus BGLT groups can come together, share ideas about programming, think about new outreach, and also brainstorm about ways of meeting the challenges we face.
I think that's wonderful, David, and that's just one more example of positive change that's happening here. And I want to say for all of us, thank you for the work that you are doing, that your students are doing, because all of this work is going to pay off in dividends in future years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott, and thanks to Cimarron for leading us and making possible so many good connections among good people.
Happy Pride to you, my friend.
You too, Scott. Thank you.
In the last half hour, we've talked to a lot of people here at the OKC Pride Festival on Film Row in downtown Oklahoma City. People who are out having a great time just being themselves. I have to say, though, that none of this would have been possible without the incredible dedication, determination, hard work, and absolute leadership of Jeremy Kreitz, the president of OKC Pride. Jeremy, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for letting me be a part of your show.
Listen, something like this does not just happen. It happens because people come together, they work hard, they raise money, they step out there and they say, we're going to do something really, really good. How many volunteers do you have that have worked on putting the festival together, the block party last night, the parade tomorrow?
Hundreds.
And it really has been hundreds of people, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
You started working on this weekend almost immediately after Pride last year, didn't you?
Absolutely.
So this is not something that takes place with a couple of months worth of meetings. It really is a year of planning and raising money and putting all of the pieces together, isn't it?
If you have never put on something like this, an event at multiple venues with all of these different service providers and entertainers and dozens of vendors, you wouldn't have any idea. When I did my first Pride last year, it was quite a shock to realize all that goes into it and just how much it costs to put on something like this.
And it does. Everything takes money. And we certainly value the work that national organizations do on behalf of LGBT equality. But I personally find it frustrating that people will send checks to New York or Washington and not put their money right here where it belongs in Oklahoma City, because organizations like OKC Pride, you have boots on the ground every day working toward equality for Oklahomans, don't you?
Absolutely. This is our community. This is our home. This is who we are. We're part of it, and that's who we represent.
Well, I want to say this, and I hope that you'll indulge me for a moment, because you mentioned the hundreds of volunteers, the vendors, the organizations who are represented here today, all of the people who will be in the parade tomorrow. But I can tell you, none of this would have happened without the vision and absolute positive leadership that you have exhibited this year. You have continued to listen to the community and shaped your leadership based on what you're hearing. And you have a lot to be proud of, Jeremy, because that's what makes a difference. When you embrace the community as you have, when you do work as a leader, as opposed to dictating, you are in the middle of all of this. So you've really done a fine, fine job, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. It's really been an honor to represent the community, and we definitely are committed to that purpose, and we're learning every day how to do that better.
And I guess that's what any change is about, is taking all of your experiences, learning from those, and making changes as we go along. Well, I know that it's going to be a very, very full weekend for you. It's not going to end until Sunday night, and then I know that, knowing you're not going to take a lot of time off after this, but instead jump right into the next one. But do know that the people that you are serving, me among them, are really proud of you and the work that you and all of your team has done to make this a Pride weekend of which we can all be proud. Jeremy, thank you for everything you do.
And thank you, Scott, and thank you for all of the great work that you do at the Cimarron Alliance and all of the other organizations who are represented here. None of this would be possible without you either. So thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. Jeremy, always a pleasure, and I can't wait to start working with you on this event starting next week.
It'll be bigger and better.
It absolutely will. For the last 2 years, I have been forming a friendship with someone that I've wanted to have on Oklahoma Inside Out. His schedule and ours, we just have not been able to get it together. But I'm so happy that he's here at the Pride Festival today. A very, very special welcome to our great friend, Ward 2 City Councilman, Dr. Ed Shadid. Ed, welcome to Oklahoma Inside Out.
Thank you. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
I'm looking at your table here, and it says Ed Shadid for OKC. Tell us what that means.
Well, we love Pride. We love. We're forming a grassroots a group, and we're very excited about Pride. I think you can see that. I think maybe there's a little confusion last year when it was the first year down here. This year, I think the turnout is substantially higher. Fortunately, we're blessed with great weather today, but great turnout, great event. I think to have an area like this where you can shut down to cars and just have it for pedestrians and everybody kind of congregate together is beautiful. And we need more of this in the city. You can see it's growing. There's a hunger for it. And this is just a great, great event. Really, really hoping that the weather cooperates tomorrow and that, like it did last year, the rain was very, very intense and then it broke at the last minute. It was kind of a sign, I thought, but everybody really enjoyed it last year. I hope we get the same tomorrow. I hope everybody comes out for the parade tomorrow.
And I should point out to folks that for 15 years, Cimarron Alliance had worked with the City Council on making Oklahoma City's employment policy a truly inclusive policy. It was a lot of work from many, many people, many, many angles, but it wasn't until you took a leadership position and you said, wait a minute. If we are going to be a big league city, we have to be open and inclusive. And it was because of your leadership that today Oklahoma City has an employment policy that specifically includes LGBT persons. And what drove you to want to do that?
I think it's time. And I'll tell you, and let me just say, first of all, I really enjoyed working with Cimarron Alliance, and it was a lot of people working to get that done, and I really enjoyed our partnership on that. But I think it's number one, it's due. Number two, I think in terms of business, we've got to let people know of how many people in Oklahoma City are concerned about diversity and who would protect people's rights. When you look at some of the polling that the Chamber does in terms of looking at businesses out in the country and relocating to Oklahoma City, concern for diversity does pop up high. They're concerned about how are our employees going to be protected, are our employees' diversity going to be celebrated, and we've got to let the country know that how strong the support is for people of all people in Oklahoma City. And if you want to bring your business to Oklahoma City, your employees will absolutely be protected. Their diversity will be celebrated. That's just an important message to get out to the country. And I think besides just protecting Oklahoma City employees, that was important to let the country know that we're serious about protecting diversity and celebrating diversity here in Oklahoma City.
And I think that that's particularly important now when we have a state legislature that really continues to confront in a very negative way the LGBT community, and yet the city is saying, we are here, we embrace you, we welcome you, and I want to say thank you to you for all that you've done for all of us. And one more quick thing, there has been a great rumor that you are running or may run for mayor of Oklahoma City. As a 501c3, obviously we can't endorse any candidate, and since you have not yet declared your candidacy, I can tell you that from me, I hope and I'm counting on you being the next mayor of Oklahoma City.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Ed, thanks for all you do. Thanks for being here. Happy Pride, my friend.
Happy Pride. Thank you.
You know, it's been a big surprise, some of the folks that we've seen here at the OKC Pride Festival today. And one of the greatest surprises was seeing Toby Jenkins, who is the executive director of the Dennis R. Neal Equality Center and Oklahomans for Equality in Tulsa. Welcome to Oklahoma City and Oklahoma City Pride.
Oh, it's wonderful, and I love that the gay community in Oklahoma City is reclaiming spaces. They're spreading out, staking out territory and saying we're here, we're visible, we are Oklahoma citizens, and it's so exciting to see the skyline in the background, and we're not hidden away in some borough or some neighborhood.
You know, I have to tell our viewers that some weeks, honestly, I speak to you more than I speak to my husband, because we really have a good dialogue going on between Oklahoma City and Tulsa now, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's a very cohesive, collaborative effort. We realize it's going to take everybody, and we try to make sure that we're supporting each other's initiatives and that we're bouncing ideas off of each other, and when one of us makes a mistake, the other tries to cover each other's butts. So it's nice to have somebody out here helping us make a difference and move the ball down the field. And I just tell you, we are so proud of Cimarron Alliance, the things they've done in the last 3 years, opening an equality center. We know this will be a game changer. It sends a message to the Capitol. You cannot ignore us. We are here. We have a rainbow flag flying on North May Avenue, so it just means the world to me. I used to deliver newspapers in that neighborhood back when I was 13 years old on a Kawasaki.
So that was only 15 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. That was back in 1972. So I never dreamed that would be a gay community center.
Real quick, Toby, Tulsa Pride is coming up when?
June 1st, 2nd. We have our pool party that is sponsored by At the Beach Tanning Salon, and then our parade and our festival is on June 1st. The parade kicks off at 5 o'clock. The festival opens at 3 o'clock. Big Bad Gina from Fayetteville is our headliner this year, and of course Eric Hyman and some other local bands. And then we have our Pride in the Park on Sunday to kind of commemorate how we used to do Pride in Tulsa when we had to meet in parks outside of the city limits. So we just let that be a historical reminder of how far we've come.
And truly, things have come very, very far in Tulsa, by no small measure thanks to your leadership. Thanks for being with us today on Oklahoma Inside Out, Toby. Much love to you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, Oklahoma City.
Well, I hope that in the last half an hour you've had a chance to see not only the diversity but all the fun that's taking place here at the OKC Pride Festival on Film Row in Oklahoma City. This is definitely the biggest festival ever here in the capital city of Oklahoma. And I want to thank all of those folks who were guests on this episode of Oklahoma Inside Out. You know, it takes a lot of people to make this broadcast work and work well every week. I want to say a very special word of thanks to our producer, Chris Moyer, director of this broadcast, Guy Peters. Lisa Pizzieri is our announcer. Cimarron Alliance board co-chairs are Catherine Primus and Randall Marsh. From all of us at Cimarron Alliance and Oklahoma Inside Out, thank you so much for being with us today. Happy Pride, and until next time, hang on to the vision of a fair and just Oklahoma.
Oklahoma Inside Out is a production of Cimarron Alliance, Central Oklahoma's preeminent LGBT advocacy and education organization. If you have a topic you would like to hear discussed or a person who you would like to hear interviewed, please call 405-495-9300 or email oklahomainsideout@cimarronalliance.org. Please feel free to share the link to this broadcast with your friends.
so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.